Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the coin. Just like always, many interesting topics to talk about. So, you absolutely don't want to leave and don't want to go anywhere. There's plenty to talk about. But before we get into all of that, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say, first of all, a massive happy Ramadan Mubarak to each and every one of you guys in this blessed month. Let's work as hard as possible, get as much as good deeds as possible, and make the most of this holy month. So big up to each and every one of you guys that are going to be fasting, and to all the other people as well that are just well wishers as well. So big up to each and every one of you guys in this month of Ramadan. And secondly, as well, very important, I wanted to say a massive thank you to Matisse, my brother. As you guys would have seen in All You Can Eat Chelsea, big gesture from Matisse, big gift in this month of Ramadan from Matisse. It's his baby, All You Can Eat Chelsea, and starting from next season, that show is going to be on this channel. And I hope I can look after that baby that he grew in all of these years together alongside with myself and Eunice, and in recent times Javon and Baba has joined as well, which has created a fantastic atmosphere. And thank you for all the support and all the kind words and all the lovely comments that has come through on that on the current episode of All You Can Eat Chelsea. I really appreciate that a lot, and hopefully starting from next season it's gonna be all gas, no brakes, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the coin. Let's now talk about the latest that is popping off. I wanted to start things off from this particular tweet from Kieran Maguire. I myself don't even know who Kieran Maguire is. Let's have a quick look. I'm writing a book on how to stay conscious when you're drowned. I don't know who he exactly is, but he's put out a very impactful and very strong tweet that I wanted to touch base on. Football, ladies and gentlemen, is moving in a direction which is quite scary. Chelsea Football Club are not unique to this. In fact, we're actually not even the pioneer for this. I think it all really started to kick off with Arsenal years ago, going into a direction where winning trophies is not really the main priority. I mean, it's good to have if we can win trophies. It's fantastic, but it's not the main priority. What is the main priority? Being sustainable from a business standpoint. And then since then, we've obviously seen many other clubs who focus more on sustainability in terms of profit. And one of them is Brighton, ladies and gentlemen. Brighton are supreme when it comes to running a football club at a low cost and maximizing profit as much as possible. And we've had our owners, especially Iqbali and even Todd Bowley as well, been quoted that they admire Brighton's model a lot. So we want to go through this. As I said, many other clubs are following suit. Tottenham, Spurs, as you can see, they make a lot of money without winning jack all. Man United are seeming to go towards that pathway as well, where they've splashed a lot of money in recent times and it's not really done anything for them. Now they're in the business of cutting costs and seeing if they can maximize profit, buying youth players. And as you can see, a lot of jobs that are being cut, slashed, and Man United. So now, let's have a look at this. Let's see what Kieran Maguire has to say. Brighton announces 23-24 account figures. So this is latest. Obviously, we're in 2024 or 5 now, but 24-25 is the financial year. I'm sure this time next year we're going to see that. So this is the latest 23-24 financial statement. Revenue 261 million, up by 28%. 28% revenues up. Incredible. A club like Brighton, right? Mid-table club. Their revenues are up by nearly 30%, which is huge. Wages are also up by 15%. That's because they've brought a lot of players in, and which are investments. A lot of people don't seem to understand this. Players are an asset for the football club. So you generally try and make profit out of them. There are certain times you may not, but at the very least, you try and at least break even from the accounting books point of view with amortization and whatnot. Very rarely clubs will cut a loss on their players. But yeah, they brought in a lot of players. They lost a lot of players through player sales where they made a lot of money. They brought in a lot of players, which obviously would have increased their wage budget, but it's increased by 15%. Underlying loss per player sales, 34 million. Player sales profit, 110 million. Player purchases, 122, because they've invested a lot by buying a lot of players. Player sales, 113 million. Borrowings, 300 million. So this is incredible. This is where we need to understand the notion, ladies and gentlemen. You don't need to win. You definitely don't need to win to make any level of profit. And Brighton is the best example of this. They further on to say this tweet, as a result of these results, Brighton are now fourth most profitable club overall in Premier League history. At the end of 2020-21, they were 41st. Just a few seasons ago, they were 41st in terms of profitability in the Premier League. Now they're fourth. I mean, what other evidence do we need, ladies and gentlemen, that winning is not necessary? Winning is not necessary. And this is the exact model our ownership is trying to emulate at Chelsea Football Club right in front of our eyes. We're Brighton 2.0. It's a sad thing that we can't beat Brighton as yet, but we're Brighton 2.0, bigger scale, bigger reach, greater reach. And it's so obvious for all of us to see. The youngish sort of players, the youth players that we regularly target. And the idea, the real thought process why trophies are not really the paramount objective is because by spending a lot of money, getting trophies is not guaranteed. Business people who run with this model, they want to eliminate risk as much as possible. They want to get into a situation where win, lose, draw has no bearings on how much you earn, because you've got a good product that fans will keep coming and will enjoy that product on a regular basis. This is a concept that I feel has been developed in America, in American sports, where there is no relegation, there is no promotion. Match days are a fantastic day out. It's an event. This is the culture that these American owners are trying to promote in the Premier League. The more and more American owners that we see, they're going to start pushing for that Super League, where there is no promotion, there is no relegation, and everyone is set in stone. There's a set amount of revenue that's going to come through. This is what Todd Bowley was talking about yesterday. How can you earn certain percentage of shares of the Premier League, even if you get relegated, so that you can still keep earning from the Premier League? So, look, these are the reasons why our owners don't, talk too much about winning trophies. Everything is about commercialization of the club. Everything is about how can you find new opportunities of finding revenue streams. Nothing is about winning trophies, because they understand winning trophies is not a guarantee. Commercializing every aspect of the club, every aspect of the content that the club delivers, yeah, you can guarantee income. At the end of the day, Chelsea's still a big club. Look, we've been abysmal under this ownership. Has it really stopped anyone from watching Chelsea? No, because we love the football club. We'll watch Chelsea. That's all they need. That's all you need. And then through player sales, by reducing the wage budget, having younger players who are going to hold their value, which is going to add to the balance sheet, all of these things will culminate to ensuring Chelsea make profits on a regular basis, because ultimately these owners want to be able to give their investors a return of their equity, return on their investment. So, ladies and gentlemen, look, this is a living proof. This is where football, unfortunately, is heading. And this is where 100% Chelsea is heading. If we win anything, is really by chance. It's not going to be because, we aspire to be top dogs again. You need owners like Roman. You need owners like the Nottingham Forest owners. Owners that really don't care too much. You need owners that are individual owners, or it's a family business where they don't really care too much about drawing dividends from the club. They're really there because they're passionate about the football club and they just want to see their football club succeed. I'm not saying that go out there and make a loss. No one's asking for that. But they're not really there to reap profits from it because they've got other businesses where they can make profit. These guys, no. They're debt financiers. We've got massive debts. They've got huge debts that they've, borrowed the fundings from elsewhere. And ultimately, they can't just sit at Chelsea Football Club and not make any money out of it. There's people to feed, and they got to make money. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts. It's clear as daylight. You don't need to win nada, ladies and gentlemen, to make money. Next up, George Petrovic will be competing to be Chelsea's number one next season. Look, a lot of PR about goalkeepers. Apparently, we're not going to be in the market for a new goalkeeper, which I find very, very strange. You see the calamity that took place this season, the amount of times we've lost points because of the goalkeeper directly involved. And then we're saying that we're not going to buy a new goalkeeper. Well, look, interesting, no problems. George Petrovic has been very good for Strasbourg. Interested to see how he does at Chelsea Football Club. But also interesting, is he going to stick around? And if he is sticking around, who's getting sold? And a lot of people will say Sanchez is getting sold. Yeah, let me see. I'm not going to jump the gun. Let me see what happens in the summer window, because I'm so certain a lot of nonsense will happen. I'm so certain this guy's going to get sold because his value is now skyrocketing. It's time to cash in. Is he going to be good enough to start for Chelsea Football Club? Look, he's definitely improved. Is he at a level where he can be Chelsea number one and be a mad shot stopper and also good on the ball? I don't know. It's somewhat of another gamble because he's had a good season at Strasbourg, but one good season, and he was okay for Chelsea Football Club as well, sure. But I don't want to take this huge gamble. Look, if we do, let's see, because I've got my doubts that our sporting directors will do the right thing. So let's see what happens, ladies and gentlemen, in regards to the goalkeeper position. Next up, some sources question whether Enzo Maresca might have managed certain situations better, pointing out that none of Chelsea's rivals in the upper reaches of the Premier League faced as many cases of players angling to leave in the winter. Look, the Athletic somewhat trying to blame, or some sources question whether Enzo Maresca might have managed certain situations. Look, yes, he could have managed certain situations better. Of course he could have. João Felix, prime example, but then again, João Felix is now putting up a stinker at AC Milan. There are certain, instances that you can say that, sure, he could have done better. Of course he could have, but you have to also ask yourself, Enzo Maresca, is he an elite manager? He's also learning. He's also developing. He's going to make mistakes. He's learning on the job too. So whose fault is it to bring him in at Chelsea Football Club? The directors, the owners. This is why I always go back to them. We can sit here and blame Maresca, and there are a certain level of blame that he should take. But can we seriously sit here and just say, oh, he's the 100% fault here? No. It's the approach that the club has taken from a hierarchical point. And the squad as well. Is that his fault? Is that Enzo Maresca's fault, the way the squad has been built? Not all of it is adequate for him to compete at the highest level. Once again, sporting directors, owners. All issues ultimately go towards the owners. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't fall for these sort of PR nonsense from big publications like The Athletic, trying to sort of make a case that, some of these players that are willing to leave, it's purely on Enzo Maresca. I don't think so. Some of these players, they realize the nonsense that is going on at Chelsea Football Club, and they just don't want to be part of it. As I said, there is an element of where Enzo Maresca is to be blamed, but he definitely doesn't, warrant all the blame in this mess. Injuries are regarded internally as being the most significant contributing factor to Chelsea's recent struggles. Yeah, once again, I agree to a certain level that injuries have played a huge part. Wesley Fofana, Reece James, Romeo Lavia, Nicholas Jackson, just a few to name, of course. But we had the opportunity in January to strengthen. We didn't need much. We got ourselves a new defender, which is our defender, recalling back from Crystal Palace, so we didn't have to spend money on that. We just needed to recall one of our own midfielders, either Andre Santos or Ugochukwu. We didn't do that. And we just needed to spend on a striker that was going to compete against Nicholas Jackson and perhaps even take over his position. That's all we needed to do, is just get a striker, a decent enough striker, and that was the only investment. And then obviously getting rid of all the other players that we needed to get rid of would have offset that expense. But we didn't do that. So yes, injuries there to be blamed, but at the same time, we shot ourselves as well. Once again, owners, directors not doing the adequate business that was required for competing at the highest level. So we can't just sit here and consistently keep blaming injuries. And there have been adequate backups as well for some of these injuries, except for probably midfield. But Reece James have been away. Malagusto at times has been away as well. But then you had Achapong. So there was cover. There was always cover. We just didn't have cover for striker, and we didn't always have cover in midfield, and which, once again, I blame the sporting directors and the owners for that mishap. I'm not going to just sit there and just completely blame injuries when we could have done something about it. There are no indications that Enzo Maresca's standing in the dressing room has been damaged by Chelsea's bad run. He is held in high regard by many players for the quality of his training sessions and his attention to tactical details. Now, this I can't deny, that's for sure. While the broad structure of his system has remained consistent this season, he has also garnered credit for his flexibility in making tweaks to individual player roles and positioning from game to game. So, look, yeah, I'm not going to disagree with this statement that players don't, like him. I think the players absolutely like him. His tactical nous, his tactical acumen. I'm sure there's a lot to learn, and I'm sure the training sessions are just as enjoyable. But he's a young manager. He's still developing as well. There's a lot that Enzo Maresca still needs to learn. We can't just simply sit here and say that there is no indication that Enzo Maresca standing in the dressing room has been damaged. There would be some form of damage. I'm pretty sure there are certain players, and we've heard it. João Felix is one. I'm pretty sure Nkunku's another one. Renato Viga's another one. All the players that are either gone or looking to get out. Yeah, there would have been some level of damage. I don't think all of this stuff from The Athletic is completely being, genuine about it. I think there's some level of disingenuous scenarios that is popping up over here. So look, let's see how we finish the season. I think it'll all come down to the fixtures after Leicester. Will really paint a picture as to where we are as a group, where we are as a squad. Are we tight-knit? Do we fight for each other? We shall see. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash up the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section on everything we spoke about. Until then, everyone, take care. So yeah, goodbye.